Hey friends, Kate here of Kate Does Yoga. Today I'm going to show you how to do sun salutations with blocks. So all you're going to need today is 2 blocks of about the same size. So mine I got really cheap, one at Target and one at TJ Maxx, I think, probably. So yeah, just really simple foam blocks are great. And we'll keep them towards the top of our mat and we'll work with those today. So this practice is especially great if you have a really hard time with sun salutations, or if you are a beginner, and sometimes it's also nice to revisit this, even if you're not a beginner. It's a nice different way to practice and really support ourselves. So we're going to start off together in our child's pose. So find about the center of your mat with your knees. Scooch the knees a little wider than your hips and allow yourself to rock back towards your heels. And just start to scoot your fingertips forward. And even as we get into child's pose, that's a nice place to use your blocks as well. You can do 2 different things here. So the first is to go to this flat part of your blocks, right? Use your hands and kind of grip with your fingers at the edge of the block and let your head relax. So that's nice if you want some extra opening in your shoulders. Second thing that you can do in child's pose is place a block underneath your forehead instead, at whatever height that you need. Nice. So I'm going to keep my blocks where they were, towards the front of my mat with my fingertips just kind of gripping. Your block should be about shoulder distance here. So if it helps, I'm kind of lining up my blocks with the edges of my mat. Good, now from here I'm going to have you move your blocks to this spot if they are if one of them is underneath your forehead. And then we're going to come to the back of the block and just lightly press our hands into the back of the block. So the heel of my hand is kind of meeting up with this back portion of the block. I definitely recommend having a stickier mat here so that your blocks don't slide around. We'll find our downward facing dog. So dig your toes under, rock your weight forward, and start to lift your hips. So downward dog with blocks is really great if your hamstrings are really tight, if your wrists hurt. So just kind of pedal out here. Nice. And find some stillness. So your feet should be about hips width, about 6 inches between your feet, and you can always softly bend your knees and just kind of press your belly and your chest back towards your thighs. Make sure you're not hyperextending your elbows. And just widen that space between your shoulder blades. Relax your neck. Good, we're going to go for a walk. So we come up onto the tippy toes and walk ourselves up towards the top of our mat. If this is really tough for you, you might move your blocks up to a higher height, and walk yourself forward there, and then fold. So I'm going to keep using 2 blocks here. And my blocks are at the highest. My hands are just resting on the blocks. Other variation that you can do for your forward fold is use 1 block right in front of you with both hands on the block. So bend your knees softly here, melt your ribs into your thighs, and just rock your weight a little more forward into the balls of your feet. Good, so it doesn't matter if you're all the way folded in like I am, or if you're up a little bit higher, this is fine too, right? Just relax your shoulders back, relax your neck. And then I'm going to place the block back where it was, reach my fingertips out to a T, and rise all the way up, hinging at my lower back, and bringing the hands down to heart center. Nice, so we'll flow with our blocks. So we're going to go nice and slow for the first 2 rounds of sun salutations, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. So blocks are at the top of your mat. Let's inhale, reach all the way up. And as you exhale, float all the way back down into that forward fold. Good, walk the blocks a little bit further. Press into your hands to look forward, half lift. Good, soften your knees and step your left leg way back. So you're gonna bring your back knee down and then slide your blocks right alongside your hips, right underneath your shoulders to press into the hands and lift the chest. Good, your front knee is over your ankle. Good, we're gonna go back to how we use them in downward facing dog. So we're framing the foot with the blocks. They're at that flat level. My hands are going right to the edge of the blocks, and I'm stepping back to my plank. Good, if plank doesn't work for you here, make sure you come down to your tabletop, right? Knees underneath the hips. Good, now we're coming down to the knees and bring the heart between the hands. Good, press into your hands, rise back up, and go to downward facing dog. So dig the toes, and same as we started, we're pressing heels of the hands into the blocks. Fingertips spreading nice and wide. Good, pick up your left foot, start to step it forward. So if it doesn't make it there all at once, bring your back knee down, release your left hand to help that foot forward, and then take the blocks, slide them right alongside your hips. Good, walk the blocks up to frame your front foot, and then we're going to step that right foot up to meet the left, forward fold. Good, rise all the way up through the hands, and bring it down to heart center. Good, we're going to do it again at that speed. So let's inhale, reach all the way up and back. Exhale, float all the way down to your forward fold, hands to the blocks. Release your neck. Good, walk the blocks slightly forward, press into your hands to half lift, looking forward. And then exhale, softly bend your knees, slide your right foot back, bring the back knee down, as you move the blocks right alongside your hips. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in here. Good. We're coming into our plank. So framing the foot with the blocks, bringing them down to a slightly lower level, pressing into the hands, and then finding either plank or tabletop. Good. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring the heart right between the blocks. You can lift your toes if it helps. And then press into the hands, rise back up. Tabletop, into downward facing dog. Good, we're sliding the right foot forward now. Helping it there as much as we need to. We bring the back knee down. And the blocks slide right alongside our hips. Good, slide the blocks forward, frame the foot, having trouble talking today, and then slide that left foot up to meet the right, forward fold. Reach all the way up, arms to a T, and hands to the heart. Good, we'll speed it up a little bit for the final 2 rounds. So inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Good, walk the blocks forward, half lift. Soften knees, step your left leg way back. Slide the blocks in line with your hips. Back knee comes down, inhale, look up. Exhale, sink in. Good, blocks frame the foot. We go to a flatter height. Heels of the hands touch. And we go to tabletop or plank. Good, knees come down. We bend the elbows, bring the heart between the hands. Press into the hands, rise back up, tabletop. And then back to downward facing dog. Good, left foot steps forward. Help it there as much as you need. Slide the blocks alongside your hips. Bring the right knee down. Look up. Good, blocks come to frame that front foot. We step it forward to fold. Inhale all the way up, arms to a T-rise. And hands to heart. Good, last round, big circle. And float down to fold, hands to blocks. Walk them slightly forward, half lift. Good, we're stepping right foot back, sliding the block back as we do. Back knee down, look up. Good, blocks alongside the front foot. Heels of the hands touch the edge. And we're back to our plank. Good, bring the knees down. Hug the elbows in as you bend them, go low. And then press back up high. Dig the toes, downward facing dog. Nice, right foot goes forward. Help it there if you need to. Let's slide the blocks and bring that back knee down. Press into hands, look up. Good, frame the foot with the blocks. Step it up to your forward fold, last one. Good, inhale, come all the way up. And bring the hands down to heart center. Good, release into your mountain pose. So remember in mountain, we're tucking our tailbone under, hugging the belly in towards the spine, lifting through the crown of your head. Good, final posture that we'll do with our blocks to cool down a little bit. So let's take the block, just one this time. We walk our feet out to about mat's distance, turn the toes out very slightly, and just start to make your way into a squat. So plopping your butt onto a block. If this is not enough height for you, you build yourself a little chair. So a second block goes on top of the first, and we come up a little bit higher. Nice. Find your squat, spend a few deep breaths here. Maybe your hands come to heart. Beautiful. Take another breath. Good, all you're gonna do to break the pose, rock your weight forward, lift your seat, and move your blocks. Good, come on down to sit, and extend your legs. Good, that was sun salutations with a little bit of support.